It's been a long 6-year wait since Smash Bros. Brawl, but the release of the newest version of Super Smash Bros. Is finally among us. Overall, this is still the classic Super Smash Bros. Formula. You battle against a giant roster of Nintendo fan favorites, but instead of traditional fighting games where your health bar goes down, in this game your damage percentage goes up. The higher the percentage, the farther you'll fly. Fall off the end of a stage, and you'll lose a life or score, depending on what mode you're playing. In terms of gameplay mechanics, this game definitely feels more like Super Smash Bros. Brawl than anything else. It's certainly much faster than Brawl, especially on the ground and when fast falling, but the movement and engine still feels heavily Brawl-based. For those looking for advanced gameplay mechanics and movement, such as wave dashing in GameCube's Melee, I don't find anything close to that in here. There are interesting changes, such as a new system that prevents edge hogging for a KO that I actually enjoyed, and you can use some neat mechanics with pivoting and attacking right away, but the base system to the game is still fairly simple. This is the first time we've seen a Smash Bros. Game hit a portable system, and most common concerns people are having is that 3DS screen too small to support a complicated game like Smash Bros? For the most part, my answer is no. While character models still definitely seem small for those used to the console versions, it wasn't long before I was performing complicated maneuvers and tactics just like any other Smash Bros. Game. Visually, the game looks surprisingly good, especially with the action in a full 60 frames per second on the characters. What you likely see right now on YouTube is still 30 frames per second, so I'm not exactly doing it justice. I did, however, have some problems with the 4-player modes with larger stages. The 3DS version was programmed with smaller stages on purpose to prevent this, but occasionally the character models and items are just too tiny to see, especially on the original 3DS system versus the XL. If Smash Bros. Is a series you already know you love, making the upgrade to the XL is a move that I'd recommend. As for controls, everything worked fine for me. Everything runs like the console version, and you can customize buttons for the input that you like best. No, there's no C-stick for quick smash attacks, but I actually never had problems with those. I did need some time to learn how to easily get tilt attacks off, however, which take just a slight tilt of the analog stick to accomplish. The new 3DS system that was recently announced will be able to use its small C-stick nub for smashes, but I'm disappointed that this game doesn't support the Circle Pad Pro accessory, which would have given you a perfect second analog stick for this. But enough about how the game plays, let's take a look at all those game modes. Even though the bulk of most of people's time will be spent in multiplayer matches with friends, there's a lot to do if you're on your own. This time especially, it's just madness how many different ways you can play Smash Bros. For 3DS. Returning is the staple classic solo mode, where you can battle through tiered stages of single battle challenges, all leading up to a final battle with the Master Hand. Taking a page out of Kid Icarus Uprising, you can adjust the difficulty of each stage down to the 10th of a decimal point, all the way from 0 to 9. A harder game means more total rewards. At its highest difficulties, your final battle transforms from Master Hand into the terrifying Swarm, and it's by far one of the greatest challenges single-player Smash Bros. Has ever delivered. The classic mode is fun for a few runs, but admittedly it does get a little repetitive after a dozen or so trials. Beyond the classic mode though, there's a ridiculous amount of things that can keep your attention. All-Star mode is back, allowing you to battle every character you've unlocked chronologically. Other returning minigames include being able to fight an endless horde of Mii characters based on ones you've unlocked on your system, and the classic Home Run Derby, where you can beat up a sandbag before launching it with a home run swing. New to the game is Bomb Blast mode, set up almost identically to the iconic Angry Birds games. In this game, it's your job to pile up damage to a bomb before launching it to clear targets and structures. It's fun for a while learning the right damage percentages and attacks to knock the bomb where you want it to land, but once again, this is more of a novelty mode than your Smash Bros. Bread and butter. But wait, there's more! Every time you street pass someone, you can also battle your friends in a chip-based game that plays much like a simple version of Tin Pin Slammer from The World Ends With You. Or if you somehow need more mini-modes to kill time, there's also a mode where you can smash falling blocks while dodging explosions. Racking up a longer combo gives you a rain of bonus blocks, allowing you to unlock equipment and trophies. Most of these mini-modes aren't all that deep, but because this is a portable version of Smash Bros., a lot of these short burst modes are perfect for trips and waits, just like mobile games that are sweeping the nation on phones. Moving on to more major modes though, by far my favorite is the new 3DS exclusive Smash Run. In Smash Run, it's your goal to defeat as many AI opponents and clear as many secret challenges as possible, all while collecting stat boosts to your character along the way. At the end of the 5-minute limit, it's your goal to use these new stat boosts to take on your opponents in a randomly assigned challenge. It could be a normal fight, could be a battle with strange modifiers, it could even be a race. This mode emulates Kirby Air Ride's Incredible City Trial mode, and I love it. The challenge doors, enemies, and events change every time, meaning no two Smash runs are alike. There's even a giant stockpile of exclusive touchscreen attacks to unlock, adding a layer of depth that I didn't expect. The only problem I have with this event, and it's a big one, is that it is somehow local co-op play only. It's honestly devastating. This mode's fantastic, and it deserves to be played alongside friends all over the world through online battles. But as of right now, the only way to enjoy a Smash run is to get up to 3 other friends with you in the same room. And speaking of real people, there's more ways than ever to battle amongst the world online. You can battle your friends while changing the gameplay rules at will, or you can duke it out against strangers of the world in a handful of preset modes. For Fun allows you to play 2-minute matches with all the items on, lending itself to a crazy party feel that most who play Smash Bros will enjoy. In For Glory, players can battle on Final Destination only with no items. This is the way that I personally prefer to play Smash Bros, but there's a few things with the mode that I wish were different. For one, playing 1v1 battles limits your games to just 2 stocks, 5 minutes. I've gotten some great high-level games out against many Japanese opponents so far, but I'd prefer if the stocks are set to 3, allowing a little more margin of error if one player accidentally self-destructs. I'm also not a fan of For Glory team battles, which are set to time instead of sock for some reason. There's also a lack of a matchmaking system as far as I can tell, so you might get a variety of very good or very bad players. It's a completely random mix. In terms of stability, my results have also been mixed. I had a long stream of gameplay with zero lag at all, but I've also had the occasional matchup where in-game lag is molasses. I have hope for the game once it's been released for a while though. I played other 3DS titles like Kid Icarus Uprising with very little multiplayer lag, and I'm sure Smash Bros should run fine in the long run. Even beyond gameplay modes, there's so much buried in Smash Bros that it's hard to tackle it all. For the first time, you can customize Mii characters in one of 3 categories, with fists, swords, or guns. Every special move has 4 different slots for it, giving you a ton of different options for a unique fighter. There's also a horde of unlockable equipment slots as well, changing your gameplay mechanics or altering stats. The mechanics from custom Miis, equipment, and movesets are also unlockable for every single fighter in the game. Most of these pieces are found within the game's achievement mode or challenges, and there are a lot of them to uncover. Did you ever want a lightning quick Bowser? Or a Peach that tanks? You can do that here. These modes are restricted to play with friends only, and they probably won't find their way into regulated competitive tournaments, but there's a lot of space for experimentation here if you have the time. My final thoughts of the game come with the roster. I won't reveal the unlockable characters yet, even though I'm sure most of you know them by now, but I actually like the mix that we got. There's nearly 50 unique characters, more if you include all the Mii modes, and that's by far the most we've seen in a Smash Bros. Game to date. Yes, there are a few beloved characters in the Smash Bros. Series that don't return, but personally, I'm very happy with the new characters that we got. Most new faces come with a very unique mechanic, such as Little Mac, who has an incredible ground game at the sacrifice of horrible air moves. Or Robin, who has powerful sword and magic-based attacks, but with limited uses, just like the Fire Emblem series. No roster is going to please everyone, but so far this one feels like the largest and most balanced pool of new fighters that I've ever seen in a Smash Bros. Game. I did find it odd that the starting roster was enormous and that there's only 12 characters to unlock in total, but if you're the kind of player that likes having a lot of options early, well, then there's certainly a lot to work with here. So far, I've really enjoyed my time with Smash Bros. 3DS. The portable format has some cons, such as the smaller screen and less overall buttons, but the ability to play Smash Bros. Wherever you like is a huge plus. I really wish the online modes included a few more options, and especially Smash Run, but even if it didn't have online play at all, there's still so much to do on this thing. Between challenges, unlockables, minigames, and customization, this could easily become your most played game on the 3DS. That's all for today's review. If you'd like to see another that I recently did, you can click here to check out my thoughts on Hyrule Warriors. Also, if you want to see more Smash Bros. 3DS footage live, I stream it all the time on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/TheJWittz. If you want to know more about why I don't give review scores, you can learn more about that in the description. Smash Bros. For 3DS hits the rest of the world on October 3rd, and I hope to run into many of you guys online in the future. Catch you guys next time with the next Nintendo review.